welcome back to the Road to Episode 7, my ongoing series where I chart the road to release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens on December 16th, 17th and 18th, 2015, depending on where you are in the world. And today we're talking about on the set. Yeah, there was this featurette that was released in the UK and in the US from Disney on the various Disney channels, and it was like a 1 minute kind of behind the scenes featurette slash new movie clips thingy. So I'm just going to break down the some of the new shots from that little kind of trailer slash featurette. Very, very short, but still some cool things. The first one is kind of the first proper shot from the film in close-up that we've seen of Domhnall Gleeson's character, General Hux. And he is on the bridge of what seems to be a Star Destroyer, and he's shouting fire. And then the next shot we have some cannons, again it looks like on the bottom of a Star Destroyer, shooting out these two torpedoes, and we see them fly out, maybe shooting them out to take out Finn as he escapes on the TIE fighter at the beginning of the movie. That's probably what that shot is from and what scene that's from in the film. Next we have a little shot of Rey dragging some stuff away from a big kind of mountain of sand over to her speeder. Pretty cool. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the visuals on Jakku, and it just looks like they're really going to nail that side of the film in terms of just a proper awesome practical location when they filmed out in was it Abu Dhabi. Then we have a shot of Finn looking very nervous and tense inside the gunner cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and he's saying to himself, "I can do this." And then we cut straight away to Rey in the cockpit of the actual pilot's seat of the Millennium Falcon, and she's also saying, "I can do this." And it's really funny to me because it's almost like you see the two actors being like, "I can do this. I can be in a Star Wars film." I just kind of see it as almost like a meta moment in that little video where it's like, I can do this, I can be good in the Star Wars movie. And that's it. There's more stuff, but I'll get to that in another video. So that was a pretty cool little thing on the set, and yeah, it's getting a bit tiresome now. There's so much to keep up with. There's new footage, new shots coming out like every couple of days. There's a TV spot from Spain or something that has more that we haven't seen before, and it just it gets a little grating, but I'm just picking and choosing bits that I found were interesting to talk about. Now I want to talk about Andy Serkis speaking on Supreme Leader Snoke, his character in The Force Awakens, and we have very little information about that character. In fact, I would say his character is the biggest enigma in the entire film. I mean, Luke Skywalker, we know nothing about his part in The Force Awakens, unless you look into all these kind of leaked spoilers and stuff, which I haven't delved into too much myself. I have a good idea, but I don't know everything. But with Snoke, I know absolutely nothing. Most of us know absolutely nothing. So I'm going to kind of read some stuff that Andy Serkis said to Empire Magazine and Entertainment Weekly. First, from Empire, he says that it was quite an unusual situation playing Supreme Leader Snoke. I worked specifically with Domhnall Gleeson and Adam Driver. My first day was basically standing, and if you don't want to know any spoilers whatsoever, I mean, this is in Empire Magazine, it's not going to spoil much, but if you don't want any clues at all, turn off the video. He says, my first day was basically standing on a 25-foot podium doing Lord Snoke without the faintest idea of what he looked like, or in fact who he was. I was very high up, totally on my own, away from everybody else, but acting with them. So what does that mean? Does that mean that Supreme Leader Snoke is a 25-foot beast? Or does it mean that he has a big throne room with a grand throne that is like 25 feet in the air, which sounds ridiculous but awesome at the same time? But the fact that he did his first day without knowing who the character was sounds a bit suspect to me. Maybe he was just kind of mincing his words a little bit, but that kind of stood out to me. Anyway, he also says, Snoke is severely damaged. Although he's a powerful leader, he comes across as vulnerable, very scarred and disfigured. But Andy Serkis assures us that Snoke is a guaranteed force to be reckoned with. He says, we sort of used a congolizer method of having sound come out of speakers to give a sense of scale and distance for the character. So it was very challenging and scary, in fact probably one of the most scary film experiences I've ever had. So they had these big speakers to project his voice on set, which again makes me wonder about the size of Snoke. And yeah, let's go on to the Entertainment Weekly stuff. It said that Snoke kept changing, not only through principal photography, but even after. So any early concept art that might be floating around online is probably nowhere near where this dark-hearted character looks like. Serkis says that Supreme Leader Snoke is quite an enigmatic character and strangely vulnerable at the same time as being quite powerful. Obviously he has a huge agenda, he has suffered a lot of damage, As I said, there's a strange vulnerability to him which belies his true agenda, I suppose. And they ask him, you know, why couldn't he have done it in makeup? Why does it have to be... It's a CGI creation, so why did it have to be CGI? Could it have been done for real? And Serkis says, no, the scale for him, for instance, is one reason. He is large, he appears tall. And also just the facial design, you couldn't have gotten there with prosthetics, it's too extreme. Without giving too much away at this point, he has a very distinctive, idiosyncratic bone structure and facial structure. You could never have done it in real life. And then the Entertainment Weekly asks, you know, if Snoke is a damaged character, it raises the question, did his wounds come from the clash between the Rebellion and the Empire seen in the original Star Wars movies? Andy Serkis hesitates here, and then says he believes that Snoke was outside of that conflict. No, he's a new character in this universe. It's very much a newly introduced character. He's aware of what's gone on, in the respect that he has been around and is aware of prior events. I think it would be fair to say that he is aware of the past to a great degree. So, interesting stuff. I mean, the big theory is that, you know, maybe Supreme Leader Snoke is Darth Plagueis, the master of the Emperor, from way back before the prequel trilogy, who the Emperor, you know, as he said, you know, killed him basically and became the new kind of powerful Sith Lord in the universe. But it'd be cool, it'd be a nice way to tie in all three trilogies, but I think they probably would want to shy away from trying to tie in all three trilogies, at least overtly so. So yeah, there's that. But I don't know. It'd be cool, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't want them to retcon it too much and go back and be like, oh, well, this was the guy who was behind the Emperor throughout the whole of the original films, and, you know, it's like that Saw thing where you go back and you're like, oh, well, it was actually him all along, you know, and it kind of dilutes the feeling of the original films if you really go back and put him in that spot. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, because he said that he wasn't involved in the you know, the original Star Wars movies, the whole battle that went on throughout that trilogy. Snoke was not a part of that, but he was aware of that. So interesting stuff. Also, he said the scale of him would be impossible to do in real life, so it must be that he is a huge creature, which I don't know how I feel about. To me, I would want to see this new kind of Emperor figure be at least vaguely humanoid. I don't know. It seems weird to make it a big monster, but we'll see. I mean, I've got no idea what to picture, really. I don't, so that's cool. And I'm glad we haven't seen anything from him. We've just heard his voice, and it certainly carries a presence in of itself. So very much looking forward to seeing what Snoke is going to turn out to be. And yeah, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I don't know, Podstep.